with Ari Event, and this is the Real Estate Revive podcast. Our guest today is a successful realtor and a best-selling author. She's an award-winning educator, an influencer, an innovative CEO, and an internationally known speaker. Welcome to the Revive podcast, Leigh Brown.
Thank you, Lori. It's an honor to be here with you and your members and whoever else happens to have stumbled across this podcast.
That's great. Thank you so much. Now, you speak all over the world, and I know you're on the road right now. Is that right?
I am. I'm actually in California right now. We are putting together a new program to benefit our members and teach them about the Center for Financial Wellness, which is a member benefit for the National Association of Realtors. And so that's really exciting stuff that's coming soon.
That sounds really great. Now, I know that you're from North Carolina. Is that right? And you have your successful real estate office there.
Yes, I'm actually a third-generation realtor. My granddad was a custom builder. My dad is a realtor emeritus who's now retired. And then, if you're exposed to real estate your whole life, you kind of wind up there, even if it's by accident.
Isn't that the truth? My whole family, I come from a family of realtors as well. So you spend a lot of time educating other professionals about business relationships and leadership. And, well, how did that happen?
Well, it was completely by accident. The first 9 years of my real estate life, I only wanted to make money and sell the most houses I possibly could, just totally focused on the production side. And then in 2009, I got exposed to the local association and the government affairs world. And that led me into the volunteer side of life. And in that same year, at that time, I was a member of an organization called the Cyber Stars, which is kind of hilarious to look at that now because that sounds very old-fashioned, but we were cutting edge at the time, dadgummit.
Sounds fun.
And our leader invited me to be on a panel. And as somebody who is naturally very quiet, I did not want to get on that panel. I did not want to get behind a microphone, but he would not let me go. And he finally talked me into it and convinced me to share. And that was when I discovered I actually love microphones and I love giving back. And the beauty is that once I learned how to give back, I can't stop because there's so much abundance in real estate. And I mean, it's addictive when you have other people who can learn from what you've done right, what you've done wrong, and then they make their version better. It just makes all of us better. Our ecosystem is a wonderful thing.
Well, I know we've really appreciated all you've done, and we see your books. You've had a couple of books, and you've done speaking here for us. And in fact, you're going to be here for Revive on March 19th. And the title of your session, we're very excited to have you back. Finding Your Realtor Why. Can you explain that title?
Well, it had occurred to me after about 10 years of speaking and training to realtors around the world. Most people come into real estate by accident, Lori. They don't really know how they landed in it, except that it became either a last resort or this looks fun, and they didn't really know what they were getting into. Because as we know, pre-licensing does not give you a full and accurate picture of what real estate practice looks like. The mentor and apprenticeship process is practically non-existent. And so realtors get in and they start selling houses almost by accident. And then they figure out that they're in a very competitive field and they don't really know what they're doing. And what I mean by that is if a consumer were to ask most realtors, what do you do for me? Realtors get tongue-tied because, well, do they find houses? Not really. Consumers can find it online now. And do we negotiate? Well, sometimes we're negotiators, but often we're mediators, helping people find a happy common ground. And sometimes we unlock doors, but there's always more to it. And my goal in this is to help realtors understand exactly what they bring to the transaction and to the relationship, which frankly are the things that online websites and apps and hedge funds can't ever do. And that's the human side of real estate and the emotional complexities of each transaction. So that's the goal of this session, is to help realtors think a little bit more broadly about what they do so that they can fix their marketing and thus give themselves some job security in a very quickly changing real estate space.
Yeah, and that is so important, really important. And you mentioned that there's so much market fluctuation right now. Can you give us an idea of maybe what something you're doing, or if things are different, maybe you travel across the country on different sides of the country?
Well, the biggest thing I see in any market, regardless of size or price point, is that realtors have a lot of fear right now. And there's uncertainty in the economic markets. And of course, as we're recording this, the coronavirus is causing heartache in the stock market, and it's causing people just to question everything. And anytime there's uncertainty, realtors feel it, because people say, you know what, I'll buy later, I'll sell later, let me see what's going on. And that is exacerbated by the fact that realtors are afraid of venture capital companies and online competitors, and they just don't know what's coming next. And what I'm doing right now is the same thing that I do all the time, and that's just stay really active in my community. And in a primary season, actually, is one of the best times to be active in your community of friends and neighbors and past clients, just to say, hey, we have realtor champions. If you don't know for whom to vote, ask me, and I'll tell you who the realtors are paying attention to, because we are nonpartisan and we pay attention to things. And anytime you are providing information they can't get anywhere else, then it just elevates your reputation as somebody that's critical to them, which leads them to want you as their realtor. I think too often realtors think about their marketing as, I need one more listing, one more sale, and they need to be thinking about it more in terms of how can I be top of mind whenever the words real estate are spoken.
And we try to impress that upon our association that the Realtor Action Fund is such an important thing to be involved in, to contribute to, because so much of that behind the scenes legislation and things they may not be paying attention to, but it's affecting them every day.
100%. And especially in California, you have issues that are leading the way for the rest of the country. So a lot of us in other areas, including North Carolina, we watch what's happening in California because it could come to our state. And our members often don't know about things until it's too late, simply because their plate is full. They're trying to work with buyers and sellers and do marketing and handle closings and inspections, and they have families and soccer games and church groups and things going on. So they don't really have the bandwidth for politics on top of that, particularly local municipal things that will have a direct impact on their business, which is why the RAF is even more important, because then you can put those decisions in the hands of the ones who are very focused on it so that they can protect your business while you're building your business.
Right. If you don't want to be active, you can at least contribute financially so that they can. Right. So you're just involved in so many things. It's mind-boggling how you juggle it all. And I know, realtors in general seem to have those challenges of juggling the family and getting calls late at night and having to go out. And how do you do it? Do you have how do you do it?
Through the grace of God, Lori. But honestly, the only thing I can tell people is there is no such thing as work-life balance. And as soon as you understand that the balance doesn't exist, you lean into work-life management. So for me, it's about a calendar, and I see something come up in my email, I just deal with it. A text comes up, I deal with it, and I don't let things sit and marinate. I think that's where a lot of realtors do get underwater with their schedules. They think, you know what, I'll get around to it. Well, you're never going to get around to it. So I just dig in and do and do and do. And then when it comes time for my kids, I put my phone in airplane mode, and I really protect that time with them so that they have my full undivided attention. And we can do this with our businesses too. When it's time to prospect, turn your notifications off. When it's time to go on a showing appointment, turn the phone off. And you'll find that actually turning things off so you can focus for an hour or 2 hours means that when you cut it back on, you can crush a lot of stuff out. If you just sit there and delete, delegate, do, delete, delegate, do. That's my 3 Ds of anything that comes up on my text or email. Delete, delegate, do, and move it on.
I love that. I'm writing it down right now. Delete, delegate, do. I'm going to add that to my calendar. Well, it sounds like, so you have a lot going on here. You're coming back to Revive also as host. What would you say?
In person this year. I won't have to be live streamed from across the country because I'm not running for office this year. So yay!
We're very happy to be having you here. And then also our associations in Tennessee, in Clarksville, Tennessee. We have Cape Fear, North Carolina, in Wilmington, and then Greensboro, and then we have Prescott area in Arizona. So we're very excited to have all of those.
It's so exciting to have so many states and see the growth happening. It's a wonderful event, and I think they're all going to really enjoy it. I will tell you, though, it's more fun for me as a presenter and an instructor when I come to an association that has super involved and engaged members willing to carve the time out of their lives to get better at the craft of real estate. And those are the best kind of realtors to me. They know they don't know everything. They're always trying to make themselves better. And then I know they immediately go and share with the other agents in their offices. They are an amazing sharing group. And I love how there's a ripple effect going on with what y'all are doing through RE events.
Well, we're grateful for all the things that you've been willing to share with us too, and our members.
So I think that whole Realtor, That's Who We Are campaign is exemplified in a lot of ways. And one of them is that I think any member will agree their favorite classes and events are taught by their fellow practitioners, which is why those are my favorite classes to go to as well. Somebody that can give me something that will make me better in day-to-day real estate, and sharing makes us all better. It's just good stuff.
Thank you so much, Leigh, for being here with us today. And to learn more about Leigh Brown and her books or more about her activities, go to leighbrown.com. And people can follow you on social media. Isn't that right, Leigh? Yes,
I'm actually quite active on social media. But you can find me on Facebook, of course. I'm Leigh Brown Speaker there. On Instagram, I'm Leigh Thomas Brown. Same thing on LinkedIn. And if you find me on Twitter, I'm at Leigh Brown. But full disclosure, I am very political on Twitter. So if you're not very political, then probably stay out of the Twitter dumpster fire, at least for the next year.
Great disclaimer. Okay, thank you, Leigh, for joining us today. And we can't wait to see you at Revive.
Well, thank you for having me. And I can't wait to see all of my friends here in just a short few days.
Yay. Okay. Talk to you soon.
Thank you, Lori.
You've been listening to the Real Estate Revive podcast. Join us for the 2020 Revive Conference and Expo on March 19th. Tickets are still only $19 for the entire day. For more details or to register, go to www.realestaterevive.com.